Welcome back here at Goldberg. Today we have to talk about the perils of Marburg maxing. Now you might go, Goldberg, who cares? Why does it matter? Well, look, it's midweek, or it's about to be midweek. I'm tired, I'm wasted. I love you, darling. So we shall commence. Monkeypox outbreak is primarily spreading through. Who can it be now? It's the power bottoms. Well, this is amped up in Europe. There are apparently 2 confirmed cases inside of Justin Trudeau. So I guess that would be Canada. And the most recent surge appears to have been spread among the Backwoods Booty Patrol. Do you guys recall that old Katy Perry song, TGIF? It was like, thank God it fits. I mean, that's just brutal. I'm going to be honest with you. I wanted to unpack this a little bit because it might be tightly enmeshed or, put in place, hammered there. We have to get a clear sense. Otherwise, we can make catastrophic mistakes because there's a lot of bad information circulating. What has been going around, much like this pox thing that can spread through touching or making out, this is a good fake news debunking site related to Stanley, him being the father of Boris Johnson. He's a writer, which means that he produces books. Yeah, that's a red pill you didn't hear about, have you? And back in the 70s or 80s, he had this Marburg virus novel. It was later updated for a 21st century grift as the virus. But this is just settle the science. No, it's not about the pincushion. It's not about all the stuff you've been hearing. In fact, this particular novel tells the U.S. and USSR racing to control the main vector of the virus, African green monkeys. The original theory, I believe, from the 1950s, the eating of the raw monkey meat had started AIDS. Whether that's correct, we don't know, but it's interesting to see they haven't really done a great job of covering more recent tracks. 2001, we have bushmeat crawling with AIDS-like viruses in Africa. A little bit suggestive, potentially. Scientists, this is 2009, scientists make HIV strain that can infect monkeys. Now, you connect the dots, right? I'm not saying that it's a conspiracy. It could be. Who knows? But you notice that we have to constantly be reminded of how insane we are for simply looking at stuff that's directly in front of us. I bring up the Marburg maxing specifically because there is a strain in the manure sphere, I think that's the appropriate term, that will say because of how awful modern dating is, how, irrational women happen to be, some advocate the male to females, but others have gone the full, gamut, the full 9 yards. They have been doing other things entirely, and I think Kevin Samuels himself, he was telling guys to really get down with the brothers because that would essentially take away power from women. Sort of attuned to how the extreme form of feminism is lesbianism. You don't need a man. Well, in this case, you really want to be a man grabbing your own willy, well, then you start grabbing other willies. That's essentially what they're trying to advocate. And maybe it appeals to the ego a little bit. Oh, you'll have more attention. You won't have to deal with these irrational, narcissistic women. You just have to deal with irrational, narcissistic men. I would imagine you have to have inclination to do that. Like, I've personally never seen a dude in my life that I found attractive, even remotely. But maybe that's different. I would imagine that if you were auditioning to be a dating coach, so you've never really gotten attention from women, you might definitely have that look towards the world. Now, we should quickly note there is an apparent gay cell community, those who feel that the LGBT standards are too high, you have to be beautiful or you'll be chucked aside. In this case, while a growing number of LGBT people have incels and angry down having sex, we move here. Oh my God. I would suggest this seems like an attention-seeking thing. I imagine this community is small, it's overblown, it's been thrust out into the limelight just to get attention. But there are probably some folks, like I said, they really don't have an option. And so then they go on the internet and they have to talk about femininity and red pill. Regardless, I would say in general, the people who made comments on my channel talked about they're engaged in that lifestyle. They say that, yes, it's less formal, you don't have to deal with as many games, but that's not necessarily in your favor when you think about it. There can be some negative implications. Because what happened with the whole gay rights thing, and I have nothing against gay people myself, but it's interesting. It started out as we just want equal rights. And then it's like, oh, we need to have to get married. We'll be miserable like you guys. And then after that, they wanted to have adoption rights for kids. They wanted to, actually, some of them want to have kids now, if that can be implanted in some way. I'm not sure where you would implant it. It might kind of come out being a little bit funky, smelling strange. But the point being that it's all about trying to make people believe that there's not a lick of difference between a man and a woman, between two men and two women, essentially. And so while in the past you would only have the degenerates that would say stuff like, you can do whatever you want, these extracurricular excavations, you can do that, you don't have to take precautions. That was the real degenerate. So we have an example here. This is a Mark Joseph Stern, probably shortened from Sternberg so he can fit in. And he says, it carries some risk. Just as they can break, so partners can misrepresent or cheat. But you don't hear these arguments trotted out as reason for monogamous straight couples to use them, and for good reason. It's insulting. Any couple in a committed monogamous long-term relationship has earned the right to stop using them if they so choose. Let's stop viewing it as a rash, shameful mistake and acknowledge what it really is. Not a deplorable blunder, but a prerequisite of commitment. Degeneracy in your face, right? As long as you can dress it up as love, everything's kosher. Oh yeah, it is. Well, now we have this Healthline article where I say she because this is Jeanette Brito, probably a little cut off there. She is a PhD LCSW, CST, and PREP prep. And she tries to say down here, well, she's not entirely dismissive of the basic precaution. She's like, some should be reserved for monogamous relationships, but that might not be the type that's right for you, so you have to have conversations. Again, there's nothing wrong with it. It's totally normal. It can be justified. And so most of us look at this and you see what's happening with this outbreak, which who knows, maybe if we all get the smallpox vaccination again, it won't matter. But do you really trust anything they want to inject into you? I mean, I've gone back. Goldberg now had to go back and do the weekly red pill nasal snot analysis. What's going to be for this monkeypox? They're going to try to swab elsewhere? Let's hope not. The point being that it's like common sense. There is no common sense, right? That's why I wonder at times if maybe as folks are trying to step out and they think, well, if I could just do this, I could find this solution. This would really make me happier. If I just took a different path, I would be really popular. And then you think of that old, was it Joe Duffel or Diffel? He had that pickup truck song where the chick goes up to him because he has a truck and he's running away because she's loaded with STDs because she's been kind of passed around. You might get more than you've actually bargained for. You might have some invisible friends coming into play. You think, oh, I'm going to get this more secure portal. I'm going to have this more illustrious, firm lifestyle. But in reality, you're just making it worse for yourself and potentially others. So that's why there are moments when I just think maybe we are part of an elect or a predestined group and we're supposed to just endure this so we can get our 72 NFTs. I personally would prefer a couple of Latinas, but whatever, we'll make do with what we can get. Or the other side would be that maybe we're in hell or in purgatory. We were horrible people, so now we have to suffer knowing what's up, but watching complete idiots run the show and constantly castigate you as, oh, you don't know what you're talking about. So regardless of where you are standing or what your lifestyle is, use common sense. Don't buy into all this nonsense that you just want to believe in something that could make you sick or could make other people ill. It's just not worth it. It might appeal to your ego to be more popular or to feel like you're living the dream, but look where that gets a lot of the people. They have short lives and they tend to be miserable and on drugs. So make of it what you will.